Broadcasting from the world famous LWDL studios, this is Life with Dan and Lewis. I'm Dan.
And I'm Lewis.
And we're here to talk about life and all the wonderful, magical, horrible, awful, fantastic stuff inside that four-letter word.
That would be life, L-I-F-E.
Before we get too far in, if you hear anything you like today, feel free to go over to buymeacoffee.com/LWDL. Your support is greatly appreciated for this little adventure we are on.
And we thank you for all your support.
Hey, it's good to see you.
Good to see you also.
How was your week?
My week was busy.
That's right. You had travel and work and family and all the kinds of stuff.
Correct the mundo. We left Sunday, the 16th, I believe, around about 11, and headed to Dallas, Texas, which is a newfound city that I found out that I love.
Okay.
I have this ongoing battle in my head that I've replaced Austin as my number one city that I'll move to, and I think I have replaced it with Dallas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird because after the end of this trip, I have visited all 4 major cities in Texas this year. We go to Austin periodically, about 3 or 4 times a year. I had a conference in Houston. And of course, I live in San Antonio. And then now on top of it off, I had a conference in Dallas. So I was able to visit all major cities in Texas. And I think I love Dallas the most.
Yeah. I guess El Paso would be the only one you're missing. And that's way out there.
Yeah. And it's typically not a city that is not even close on my radar that I would think about even trying to move to. But yeah, I'm liking Dallas.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was definitely interesting to me because I was a big fanatic about wanting to move to Austin.
Right.
But now I'm thinking about replacing that with Dallas.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. How come?
I just like the atmosphere and just like overall, I would have to say like some of the people were kind of rude.
Okay.
Which both me and Alicia both picked up on. And
I guess you can get that anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you go to Houston, you can pick that up. You can go to certain places in San Antonio, you can pick that up.
Right.
Like, it's just some places you're just going to come encounter rude people, but it doesn't, play on
the whole city, right?
Yeah, the whole city. You can't judge that based off of just a handful of people that you meet.
True.
That just could just be their personality and who they are. Although I did go to the gas station one time and there was a clerk. I thought she was actually talking to somebody. I didn't realize that she was on the phone, but she was like, MF for this, MF for that, and, this and that. And I thought that type of behavior was rude, especially when you have customers in a store.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, she wasn't necessarily directing it to somebody that was in the store. She was directing it to somebody that she was talking on the phone about. So it's just like, you can...
Yeah, that's a weird one.
Yeah, it's a hard situation where Alicia had direct rudeness from people who work customer service.
Okay.
Where I just interacted with people who were just rude because of what their actions that they're
generally
doing.
Rude, not directly at someone or you.
Correct.
Interesting.
But yeah, it was easy to navigate, easy to get from point A to point B. Alicia bought city passes for her and the kids. They enjoyed the zoo and the other things that they did. The conference was really good. I enjoyed that. Had some really great speakers. Of course.
I don't know what that noise was.
Of course, there was a few people. Of course, there were a few speakers that I thought we could have did without. But overall, I would give it a 95% success rate.
Nice.
And we even had one guy come talk to us about Sovereign Citizens, who was a active FBI agent.
Interesting.
And is still currently actively doing investigations of sovereign citizens and, how...
Their ability to attempt to get one over on the government.
Exactly. And he played a clip of a guy that was... in jail. This happened to be in Florida. The judge was magistrating him via camera.
Yeah.
And so he proceeds to call his name. I don't remember his name, so I'm just going to use John Doe.
Oh.
So the judge was just like, all right, John Doe, I'm ready to magistrate you. And so immediately he cuts him off and he says, I'm not John Doe. I'm Agent such and such, SB, some long number in the body of John Doe.
Right.
So then the judge catches on that he's dealing with a sovereign citizen. It was like, okay, well, agent, whatever, SB, long number in the body of John Doe. I'm getting ready to magistrate you and set your bond at whatever amount he was going to set it at. And so he was proceeded to ask the individual questions. So he was like, agent, blah, 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 SB, whatever, in the body of John Doe. Do you have a bank? Do you guys have a bank account? And it was like hilarious.
So he was like playing along with him to the fullest extent that he could.
Exactly.
To get his job done.
So then I was sitting beside somebody and they're just like, well, if the guy gets sentenced, because all three of them were charged with DWI.
Uh-huh.
To be clear.
Right.
So if he got, let's say, a year in jail, will he have to do 3 years in jail because all three people have to serve time? Yeah. So, it was definitely very informative, very, I loved this conference this year. The drive back wasn't bad at all. It was actually pretty good. We took the toll roads to avoid some, Austin traffic and go around, which probably shaved about maybe 45 minutes, if not more.
Nice.
On our trip. And after the conference, we stayed behind a little bit and explored the city a little bit, drove around and looked at some different homes and stuff like that, different areas or whatnot. And then, come back and, which in retrospect, I should have taken the rest of the week off. Because coming back on a Wednesday, driving 4 hours, It took a toll. Like I honestly got up on Thursday morning and just did not want to go into work. And then, going back to work after coming from a conference, like, of course, that was hectic. We're in person that day and everything like that. And then it seems like everything that could go wrong did go wrong. Not in a negative or a bad way, but it was just super busy. Some attorneys weren't cooperating the way I wanted them to. Some defendants were upset with their attorneys because they didn't come or whatever the case may be. And then today, Friday, so that was Thursday. So then on Friday, it was busy in a sense of getting attorneys reset, send out plea paperwork, because it seemed like every time I would get try to get a seat, I foresaw a small break coming in. Attorney was like, hey, I need this plea paperwork. And then attorneys would come out and ask for resets. And I had attorneys coming into my office. And then on top of that, we did like 6 weddings today.
Oh, geez.
And so on top of that, I had phone calls. And then, I had attorneys in my office that are trying to talk to me. Then attorneys on Zoom that are trying to talk to me. And my thing is just like, if I'm on Zoom and I'm muted and you can clearly see I'm talking to somebody, why are you on Zoom looking at me and trying to get my attention?
Lewis, I need you. Lewis, can I get a reset?
Yeah, exactly. I'm just like,
you're like talking to someone over here.
Yeah.
And they're looking at you.
Yeah, exactly. And so that was my crazy week. And then, that was it.
Wow. A lot.
Yeah, definitely a lot. But, I've survived and I pretty frequently, and people ask me, how do you do it all? You make it seem like it looks so easy. And my thing is just, you adapt to your job. You figure out the ways of just being effective at your job and doing what you got to do. It may look easy, but on the back end, you don't see all the stress and stuff that I have to go through.
Right.
But if I can appear like I'm taking this in full stride and doing it without having any type of stress, then I guess I succeed.
Yeah, true.
So how was your week?
It was good. It was busy. Work has just been busy. There's a lot going on, and I'm making it a priority to go to the gym, 3 or 4 days a week. So, it'd be real easy to say, "Oh man, I was really busy today, and I'd rather just sit on the couch, or I'd rather go run some errands." And I've been really being diligent about making sure I get to the gym on the days I'm going to go to the gym.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's been good, and bowling was good. Normally that takes up my whole Wednesday night because I'm in 2 time slots. Mm-hmm. But with everyone being in 1 time slot this time, I'm finding that I have a little bit of time to work. I don't have to leave here until like 6:15.
Okay.
And so I have a little bit extra time before I have to like hustle, right? Mm-hmm. Get done with work at 5, hustle to get ready to leave and get a bite to eat or whatever and go. But now it's a little more leisurely where I can like work a little bit further, and then I get home. It's like 9:15, 9:30. Mm-hmm. So I can put an hour or 2 in then. So there's a little more time on Wednesdays, which I'm of course finding stuff to do. And then today, as soon as I was done with work today, I had some, house chores that I had to get done. Last winter, one of my outside pipes broke. I hard lined a hose bib about 20 feet over from where my actual hose bib is, just because it's easier to get to without having to walk through the sand trap that is my yard. But that broke in the freeze last winter. So it's been, 7 months since it's been.
And when you were out of town?
When I was out of town last winter, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's been a while, so I decided I was going to fix that today, and that turned into 5 Lowe's trips.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty much, okay, get it fixed, test it out, and something else was broke. And then while I was doing that, I realized, okay, I better make this easier to repair in the future or to prevent from freezing. So I put 2 unions instead of connectors on it, so I can unfasten these 2 unions. I can lay down the U portion of the pipe so it won't hold water in the bottom and freeze.
Nice.
So I just got to remember to do that before it freezes. Unscrew the 2 things, lay it down, and be good to go.
There you go.
And then I got it all put back together after, so one went to go fix it and realized I didn't have the right part. Went and got that part, put that part on, realized, I changed this, and now the other side's not going to be right. Went and got 2 new parts for that. Came home, was done, went to turn it on, and the brass valve was also blown out.
Wow.
So it had cracked just far enough to the outside that it wasn't leaking just from the out pressure.
Oh, wow.
It was really close. Like as soon as I touched the knob, turned it on, it started leaking out the bottom instead of out the knob side.
Nice.
So back to Lowe's for that, and then got home and was about to start the doing a backyard lighting project. And I was like, before I do that, I'm going to pot this one plant I bought. And went out to pot the plant. I had no potting soil.
Oh.
All I had was compost and manure. And I was like, oh, this goes inside, so those aren't going to work.
Womp, womp, womp.
So I had to run back to the store right when you were pulling up. We jumped in the car again, went back, got some potting soil.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, it was 8:00.
Yeah.
And so then we made a little dinner real quick and got up here and we're getting to record. We're recording late. It's already 10:30.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's how I feel my whole week has went though. It's like you do this little task, it just keeps adding up.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, it's 10:30.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Time flies.
But I'm looking forward to this weekend. I have a little bit of a lighter weekend schedule. I'm just going to, clean up around the house, do a little work in the garage, get things a little more organized. I have a new idea to move a couple things around to give myself a little more space.
Nice.
And hopefully get the backyard light project done. Have some string lights in the backyard now.
Nice.
Should be pretty fun.
That's always a good thing to do.
And in theory, this will leave my Sunday. Oh, and most importantly, this weekend is podcast work. I've been very negligent on my podcast work. So, this is episode 44 we're recording. I have still to edit 40 through 43. So
yeah. And we exchanged some tasks and stuff. I will be in charge of posting all the shorts and everything. Yeah. So I've been kind of neglected on what I was supposed to be doing.
No, there aren't any new ones for you to post. So
so there isn't?
No, the part that I handed off to you that I was like, whew, I don't have to do that anymore. I haven't gotten to that part yet in my process.
I'm over here trying to take some of the blame, thinking that I had something that I forgot to do.
It's all me. Okay. I was letting you earlier, but now you're calling me out on it. No, that's
all right. So I guess I'm good, but I'm going to link my iPad with all our different social medias and stuff like that, so that way I can just log in, do what I got to do, and just post it to where. But yeah, so it's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to, because we got some new studio equipment going on here, and I'm interested to see how our new videos come out.
Yeah, I guess we didn't talk about that in the last episode. We recorded it, but we didn't talk about the fact that we're in a very different studio.
Yeah.
We switched locations or switched equipment slightly. More than slightly. We have new lights and a new screen behind us now. And so this is the second episode that way. We are recording with one camera. We were on a 3-camera setup for a little bit, but I think episode, I don't know, was that 38 or 39? There's a note on that episode apologizing for the blurry video. So that camera, it's relegated to the sidelines now.
Yeah.
It's over there on the bench. We're not going to be using that anymore.
It's going to go into retirement.
It's retired, yeah. It had a couple issues too. It could only record 30-minute or 29-minute length videos, no matter what size memory card you put in it. So when we were recording an episode, we had to get up periodically and restart it, and that was just really hampering our flow.
Yeah. Especially like when we're really engaged into
and we're like watching the clock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Long story short, we got some new equipment here. we backed up a little bit on how we're doing our camera setup, but good things coming in the podcast department. And I am, I really am excited to get these episodes edited because I'm not letting myself edit out of order. So I haven't seen what any of the footage looks like with the new equipment. So
yeah, that's gonna be a very big surprise for both of us.
Yeah, definitely. This is the place that we would tell you about our sponsors, but we don't have any. Maybe you can help us. Life with Dan and Lewis is actively looking for new brands, podcasts, people, and companies to partner with. If you're interested, drop us a note at lifewithdanandlewis@gmail.com.
That's lifewithdanandlewis@gmail.com.
We'd like to hear from you. After all, we are doing this for your entertainment. Drop us a note and let us know where you're listening from. Or if you have any ideas for new segments, things you'd like us to stop doing, do more of, do less of, or anything at all, drop us a note at lifewithdanandlewis@gmail.com.
Once again, that's lifewithdanandlewis@gmail.com.
All right, in our second segment, we have two topics today, one more serious and one on the funner side of things. And in an abnormal occurrence, Lewis has the more serious article.
Who would have known? So I was at the conference. I was talking to several individuals, and somewhere in the conversation, I don't remember exactly how we got on this conversation, but somewhere in there, it was, and I would say like the group was a mixture of different age groups and genders and whatnot, and races. But the thing I'm focused on in this one is more so the age difference between the age difference and the responses that I got from the different ages. And in this survey, I was more focused on the responses that I've gotten.
Received?
I'm more focused on the responses that I received from the different age brackets.
Okay.
And it was
so like in grouping, responses in this group versus this group type thing?
Correct.
Got it.
And so we were talking about if there was a way that you can steal
a
large sum of money and get away with it, would you? And this all places off of morals and what people identify as being morally right compared to the different age brackets.
Okay.
So whereas somebody that's older, I would say 40 plus, will consider stealing wrong morally.
So sort of always wrong based on the grounds that stealing is taking something that's not yours.
Correct.
Sort of no concern for the other circumstances, just it's wrong because it's not yours.
Correct.
Okay.
And then people in the younger age bracket considered it if nobody's getting hurt, nobody knows, then why not?
Right. So more of the Robin Hood mentality.
Yes.
Okay.
So then I was just like, okay, well, that's interesting.
Okay.
Because morally, is it right to take it, or is it wrong because you're stealing? When you add that stealing part on there, does it make it worse because you're actually stealing, or does it be like, okay, well, if nobody's getting hurt in the process, then it doesn't really matter. So I chose to talk about this tonight, and I was trying to find maybe some articles or something or whatnot. I'm going to try to get this posted on. It was an article that I found on Vox.com, Vox.com. And there was an individual by the name of, there's two. One is named Adam Mastroianni, and then the other one is named Dan Gilbert. They're both psychologists, and they're both teamed together to decide what is right and what is wrong morally.
Okay.
And so Mastroianni and Gilbert both came up to this conclusion that when you talk about moral or morality, it's not referring to the sweeping changes like the abolishment of slavery or the granting of rights to women or the LGBTQ people, but it's more so generalized to the meaning of something like everyday kindness, honesty, and basic human decency.
Okay.
So, but then when you think about it, which that is something that I found was very interesting because for them, it is talking about like kindness, honesty, and basic human decency. But when you talk about different age brackets and age group, how does each generation define morality? Because if you look at the older generations, like our parents' generations, maybe what they consider morality is a lot different from what, you know, the younger generation today would consider morality or morals.
I think morals maybe fall into the same category as a lot of things, in that our parents and older generations saw the world a lot more black and white.
Yes.
A lot more yes or no, a lot more 1 and 2. Whereas, you know, our generation and even the generation older than us, so would it be Gen X?
Yes.
And down, you know, we have a tendency to see things in a variety of shades of, I was about to say shades of gray, but in a variety of shades of every color of the rainbow. Sometimes to our own detriment.
Correct.
So maybe the morals plays on that too. And whereas our parents' generation would see it either as right or wrong, maybe our generation is more likely, or the younger generations are more likely to evaluate the situation and some would say look for loopholes to make it right.
Correct.
Maybe the better way is to thoroughly assess a situation for the purest form of right or wrong. For example, in this stealing situation, so you're taking something that's not yours, but you're never going to get caught.
Correct.
So it takes the burden of the guilt, sort of, or the fear. It takes the fear out of it, right? So they steal the guilt, but you don't have the fear. But what if the money you were stealing was from someone's that they're already going to give away? So now you've sort of lessened the guilt part of it too, because the person had already agreed to or come to terms with parting ways with the money.
Correct.
So, you know, that would make it even more morally ambiguous.
But then that's speaking from somebody that's in the 30 age bracket.
Right.
You know, like if we take somebody that's in the, say, like the 50 age bracket, would they think it the same way?
Right.
Would they come out with the same conclusion?
Right. So then you apply the more, you know, black and white view. And the fact is that still that money wasn't given to you, even if the person had intended to give it away to someone.
Yes.
So it's still taking something that's not yours. So you can sort of see the argument both ways when you add another, you know, twist to it.
Correct. And then I was did a little bit more research, and on verywellmind.com, they broke down moral manners in 3 different brackets. They say immoral describes someone who purposely commits an offense act even though they know the difference between what is right and wrong.
Okay, immoral. They commit it even though they know it's wrong.
Correct.
Got it.
They can differentiate between the two. Like, you know, if I steal this money, I know the wrong thing to do is to take it. The right thing to do is just to leave it there and just walk away. That's immoral. Non-moral describes a situation in which morality is not a concern. They just don't care.
Okay.
And then amoral describes someone who acknowledges the difference between right and wrong, but who is not concerned with morality. Which I gather that is like the younger generation. They can describe it. They can acknowledge and describe the difference between what's right and what's wrong, but they just don't care about morality.
Sort of like, why, you know, no one else plays by the rules, so why should I?
Exactly. So if it's there and I cannot get caught, you know, I can just take all this for myself. I know there's a difference between right and wrong, but I don't really care about morality, so I'm just going to do what I want to do.
Right.
Whether it is just to leave it and just skip over it because, I mean, that's just maybe you don't have time to take it, or you'll come back and get it, or if you just take it all right then and there and just, just go out and do whatever you want to do with it. It's just, so
I guess the younger generation, specifically even the millennials and Gen, what are we calling after millennials? Alpha.
yes, Gen Alpha.
Yeah. I guess I would generalize and say that they tend to be more amoral. They understand it, but they just don't use morals in their decision making process.
No.
Versus, Gen Z, that's us, right?
Yes.
Gen Z and above sort of take morals into consideration, but will go out of our way to justify it. So find loopholes.
Yeah.
And then our parents, boomers, and I guess that does qualify. Our boomers and older are going to take a more black and white view upon it.
Yes. So I put it like this, for instance, Alicia is 32. It should be 33 in October. I'll be 37 in November. So when I drive, if I can make it through, if I see the light turning yellow and I know I can make it through before it turns red, I'm going to gun it. For her, she's going to slow down and stop.
Okay.
Even if it's yellow when she comes to a complete stop and then just turns red. So I will look at that situation as, in a situation like that, I may be amoral, where I know that there's a difference, but I just don't care. I just want to do what I want to do. Whereas she is immoral and she knows the difference between right and wrong and decides just to just stop and not run the light.
Wouldn't that be just moral?
Or, yes, just using her morals and just not doing what's
choosing right because it's right.
Correct.
Right, with no regard for.
And where I'm just using as I guess it'll be, I guess I'll be non-moral because I'll describe a situation in which I am moral.
I agree.
Where morality is just not a concern because there's no cars crossing me, so I'm safe that way. Is it wrong for me to run a yellow light that just turned red? So it's just like there's really no concern of using my morals at that very point in time. So I just choose to, do what I think is the safest at that point in time and just not be stuck at a red light.
Right.
So it just, just based off of that small age difference between Alicia and myself, we still in certain situations have different morals that we view or take into place in certain different situations.
Right.
Which is, something that goes on every single day. If you really take the time to look at it and just glance over your day and see how different people use morals in their everyday life, where, you may look at somebody that may be doing something like, man, I wouldn't do that way. Or, why they do it this way? I think people's viewpoints and their morals come into play a lot. And sometimes we just overlook it and don't necessarily see how the root cause of why they do a certain thing.
Right.
And so I just thought it was just something interesting.
That's interesting. That's really interesting. Yeah.
It's I just just based off that, I think it was like maybe a 20-minute conversation, but maybe just take a step back and just think about it. Because I think we it's something that we see and do every single day, and something that we're just not cautious of in our continuity of just going through life every single day. It's just and you can even reflect that over just your life and what the things that you do on a daily basis. For some people who have to clock in and clock out during work, do you come back to lunch and clock in and then leave for about 5-10 minutes? And just because you haven't gotten caught doing it, but you're still using the extra time to just, maybe go back and talk to your friend, or you're on the phone, you need to finish up that conversation or whatever the case may be. So how does your morals play into that?
Right.
So it's just or, if you're out at a store, gas station, grocery store, shopping place, whatever, and you see somebody drop $20 on the ground, but if you see that person drop it and they keep walking, then they get in their car and they drive off, you had time to pick it up and notify that person. So how does your morals play into that?
Right.
And so it's interesting, nonetheless to say, but I would want people to just, when you hear this, just take maybe 30 minutes out of your day and just do some people watching and see, based off of your morals and what they do, what's the difference and what's the similarities.
Yeah.
I think it would be interesting.
That is interesting. Yeah.
And I think it's something that, it's a little crazy and, kind of serious, but nonetheless, I think it's very interesting.
Agreed.
So moving over to something that's not so serious and will probably be a little bit more fun.
A little lighter. We're going to talk about 50 fun things to do this weekend. This is an article over on GoTruckster.com. So no surprise there. And number one is go to a food truck park, seeing as Truckster is all about finding food trucks. So I don't disagree with that, but I don't know if that goes at number one. So working down the list, we got catch up on your favorite book, do yoga, go to the farmer's market. Man, I wish we had better farmers markets around here.
Yeah, that would be something that would...
the quarry has a decent one, but it's sort of, I don't know.
It's iffy at times.
Yeah. See a movie. We were just talking about maybe going to see a movie. Oppenheimer is in theaters right now as we're talking about this. And there's one theater in San Antonio that's showing it on real 70 millimeter IMAX.
Wow.
But it's sold out. So
yeah.
That idea came and went pretty quick.
Womp, womp, womp.
Do some crafts. You could go for a long walk. That's something I try to do on a regular basis when it's not over 110 degrees out.
Yeah, I would concur with that. When the time is right, I love to go for walks on the Riverwalk. Kind of get out of the office a little bit and just, clear your mind and just be at one with nature.
Yeah, late fall through early spring is great for that.
Definitely. So, yeah, if your weather permits, go for a long walk.
Yeah. Watch a sunrise or a sunset, and I'm a sucker for either of those. Those are great. Go for a picnic. That can be fun. Taking some food and going to eat outside somewhere, again, weather permitting.
Yeah, I mean, definitely for something that, and I would say for couples, if you guys haven't necessarily spent enough quality time together, maybe that's something that, put your phones away. It's just the two of you guys, find a babysitter if you have kids or whatnot, and just try to really reconnect with one another and try to kind of like relearn one another in the process as well.
Sure, yeah. Throw in an impromptu party. We're big fans of that. We've done that numerous times.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Make s'mores in the backyard. I don't know. Grab some ice cream. Okay, fine. Go swimming. Yeah, we do pool days. Yeah.
Yep. Definitely.
Driving range or bowling. I do both of those. Those are both fun things to do. Again, the weather's kind of a damper on that driving range right now.
When they say driving range, I thought about the gun range, but I mean,
same thing. I mean, same idea. Yeah, we could put that there too. Driving range, bowling, shooting range. Yeah.
Nonetheless.
Start a garden. I don't know if you want to do that over the weekend, but maybe take care of your garden.
Yeah.
Starting a garden is way more than a thing to do on the weekend. It's a sort of lifestyle change. You gotta, be committed to keeping the thing water and fertilized. And anyways.
True.
Bake your favorite sweets. Yeah, I like baking. That could be fun. Have a spa day. I'm a fan of a good at-home spa day. Take a nice long shower, maybe a little bit of exfoliation. Get the gnarly feet back to soft. Maybe a little bit of cuticle care on the nails.
That all goes back into like a few episodes ago talking about self-care.
Yep, self-care, big time. Go to a museum, take a hike. Go take an online class.
Going to a museum is something that we talked about that we're going to get our friends group
that's right.
committed to. That
we do have a couple museums here in San Antonio that we don't take advantage of enough. So we need to do that. Yeah.
And I think that we also need to branch out. New Braunfels has some good ones.
Even up to Austin.
Yeah, even up to Austin, they have some good ones.
Take an online class, and I just want to talk about that briefly. A lot of public libraries have online versions that include online classes. So check that out if you're interested in that. Bibliotech, for example, they actually include Masterclass, which are fairly expensive, fairly decent classes now.
Nice.
Anyways, binge your favorite TV show. That's not a weekend thing. That's an every night thing.
Right.
Play some board games. Volunteer. Volunteer is great. Find something you can be passionate in and give your time to them. Yeah.
Definitely.
Go to a garage sale. I love it. Call someone you haven't talked to in a while. I'm not a fan of calling, but I am a fan of the message. Facebook Messenger or text message, checking on people.
Yeah, same here. I'm not a fan of talking on the phone. And I was talking to my oldest sister, and she enlightened me about this. And she said that men typically don't want to be on the phone, but sending a message, text message, whether it's via text or Facebook Messenger or whatever other type of platform, men will do. But trying to get it, and it's true because I can be on the phone for like 3 minutes from my mom, I already get annoyed because I don't want to be on the phone.
Right.
You know, so it's just like, you know, not that I don't love talking to my mom, but I'd rather do it than text. So
Yep.
men are more prone to text messages. Women are more prone to want to talk on the phone and stuff like that.
Yeah, agreed. Go camping, go fishing, do a mini road trip. Yeah, you could do any of those all together. More outdoors things.
29 is interesting.
Axe throwing. Never done it? I know there's
want
lots of
to.
places that do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe sometime we should do a little friends group outing
Yeah,
to a
definitely.
place like that.
I can definitely see that would be fun and exciting for us.
Go see a live show. Yeah, I can agree to that. You know, comedy, you know, music,
Mm-hmm.
some kind of live show. Take dancing lessons. I would love to take dancing lessons someday.
I would too.
If I find the right partner, that'll be great. Take a cooking class. Go
So-
to a painting and wine class. I'd like to do that sometime too.
Oh yeah, those are good.
Go-kart racing. Yeah, I'd like that, except that that's pretty expensive. There really isn't a cheap place to do that around here.
Yeah. Maybe if we win a lotto and we strike it rich,
Yeah.
we can just build that in your backyard.
Escape room, that'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, that would definitely be. It'll really test your how much you love your friends in that one.
Yeah. Yeah. Nerf wars, we've done that at home.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Wine tasting, yeah, that'd be
Sorry,
fun.
Claire, on the Nerf gun war.
Yeah. Claire did catch the bad end of that one.
Oh yeah.
Some wine tasting. Stay in a hotel. You know, this is one that I don't agree with. Some people like this, you know, home city vacation thing where you just go to a hotel in your same city. I can't get my mind wrapped around it.
Me either.
Though it's a waste of money, and then the whole time I'm there, I'm gonna be thinking, well, it could be at home. Like,
Yeah. You know, even,
unless you're there for like an event, like if someone was getting married at that hotel and you're all going to stay there, or
yeah.
something like that.
And I think like for, you know, couples who like, you know, want, or just, yeah, I'd say couples, because I am a couple. I think that for individuals who want to like do something spontaneous and be in a hotel, like just venture out to your next small city, like go
Oh,
up
yeah,
to
go an hour
Bernie,
away, go an hour and a half away, whatever.
yeah, New Braunfels, you know, somewhere in between the Braunfels and Austin, like somewhere, just get away,
Yeah,
but you're still close.
right. I agree with that. Hey, try a new sport or pick up an old one. I did that a few years back with golf.
Mm-hmm.
Picked up an old one. Still love it. Go to live music. We already talked about live shows. That's on here at least twice. How about a tap house? I can agree with that. I think those, you know, distilleries, tap house, wineries, wine tasting, all that stuff. Great ideas. Visit an animal shelter. Now, there are some people who can do this, and there's some people like me who would come home with too many animals. So that is, you know, while I love animals, I could not volunteer at a shelter because it pulls at my heartstrings too much, and I'd end up with too many animals.
Yes.
Roller skating or ice skating. Yeah, there's a couple of those around here. I haven't been roller skating in years. I used to love it though.
Yeah, I haven't done roller skating in years.
We should
either.
put that together at some point in the future. Go to an arcade. Why go to an arcade when you have one in your house?
That's true. You have a few
I
arcade
do.
games in your game room.
Go to a sports game. That's something that we've done. We used to do on the regular.
Yes.
Visit the zoo. Yeah,
Not San Antonio's.
some places, not here though.
Yeah.
Amusement park, water park. It depends on how risky you're feeling.
Amusement park is too damn hot in Texas. Sorry.
It's too hot. Yep. Karaoke night. We've often talked about doing that, but we've as this one-liner states, even if you don't have the guts to get up there and do it yourself, it's fun to hang out. Yeah, we don't have the guts to put that together for our friends group.
But we also can go to a karaoke bar.
Yeah, but that, we could. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, but none of us would.
Right.
I mean, I don't think we're gonna get drunk enough even to
I don't-
consider.
Yeah, I don't think so. Final one, see a comedy show and open mic. That comes back to that live event thing. So that's on here at least a few times. All good ideas for things to do over the weekend. All things so many of these things that we have also done
Correct.
in the past and enjoyed.
Or some of the ones that we talked about doing.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely some good stuff there. Some good stuff to put into your weekend.
Yeah, definitely. Anything coming up for you this week?
Coming up this week, nothing really I can think of
Yeah.
that's out of the norm.
Yeah, I think I'm in the same boat. Just the normal.
Yeah.
And bowling's still going on this week. Got a couple more weeks of that. Hopefully, work is a little less demanding. It was pretty demanding this week.
I
but,
can attest to that, and
Yeah.
hoping both our weeks or next week are a little less demanding during the work life.
Right. But yeah, other than that, it's like we've been saying, we're sort of on coast right now. We're on cruise control. just getting through the summer and getting on to bigger and better things in the fall.
Yeah, definitely. Let's just coast on through. Well, that's a wrap for today's episode, ladies and gentlemen. Until next week.
Follow us on all the social medias. That's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok at Life with Dan and Lewis.
Once again, that's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok at Life with Dan and Lewis.
Video episodes are now available on YouTube along with all our previous episodes in their audio-only formats, also on YouTube or wherever podcasts are found. Check them out. We hope to see you there. We'll be back next week with a new episode. Until then, check out our new limited series, Spotlight. New episodes will be coming periodically between weekly episodes of Life with Dan and Lewis throughout this season. Thanks for listening today. More episodes can be found anywhere podcasts are found or on our YouTube page or on our website at lwdl.buzzsprout.com.
Once again, that's lwdl.buzzsprout.com.
Until next time, ask yourself, what have you done today to help someone else? Make good choices.
And love one another.